So guys, like I said in the first video in the how I was scammed part one, we bear it with me guys, I was not the only person. So we gathered all this money, we gave it to this man, and days passed by, weeks passed by, months came and passed. This man was just telling us one story to another, from one story to another. I was like, what is this? So I had to change it for the man. I had called the man. I threatened him. I told this man, see, look here, this money, I know how we struggle to get this money. And this money, according to what this man told us, I was supposed to even have been paying this money back where I collected this money from. So this man keep telling us from one story to another. I got to one that said, no, enough of this. I called the man. I told the man, if you are not giving this money and you're not bringing out this visa, you and we have to go places. And I started using words on the man. I started using biblical words on the man. I started praying for the man. So the man became scared, and God being God, he was able to give me part of my money. Not this guy, the money he gave to me was not able again to do this visa, like follow my Korean visa. Like that was my dream country at that time. So I was just wondering, what can I use this money for? What can I do now? I was so disappointed, and as I was just worried at that time, a point in time. I come across a friend of ours, one of our brothers we stayed in the same neighborhood, so we were very close at that time. So he told me he was in Turkey. So I brought it to the family. We discussed about it. The amount of money he called was not that expensive, which was even still expensive according to how I have known Turkey line now. So so he told me everything. He connected me to the guy who did his visa. I contacted the guy, and then I met with the guy. The guy told me everything. He told me, he said, you give this first installment. All the money the guy was asking from me was 2.2 million. So we met. I gave him part of this money going to start the line. He actually started. He was giving me update. But after some time, the guy was just telling me from one story. He was just giving me stories. So I was like, what is happening? So I became so annoyed. I began praying. I began crying all the time for my visa to come out. You know now, first way they're anxious to travel. What do you expect? So finally, after about 4 5 months, this visa came out. But note this visa was not the visa this guy promised me. Visa cost me a lot. The visa this guy gave to me. To cut a long story short, the day this visa came out, he said, you have to give me this amount because I did this to get the visa. I was like, for what? For what? Like even on the day I was traveling at the airport, I know how much my elder brother gave this guy. He was persuading us to give him money again because he saw me desperate. Please avoid desperation. To be desperate is a big problem. Desperation can ruin your destiny.